Hello everyone, it's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about the Nobe. The Nobe is a prototype car built by a company called Nobe Cars, which is trying to bring this vehicle into production. It's an Estonian company, and as you can see, it is a three-wheeled vehicle, and it shares a lot of the design philosophy with the Aptera. Obviously not the design language, because the Aptera looks very futuristic, and it's built purely for efficiency. Um, this is more of a classic car look, a retro look, but the design philosophy of having a smaller, lighter, more sustainable car is what they share with the Aptera. So I thought I would kind of talk about it because I found it very interesting. This is their website. Um, it may be of interest to people that live in Europe or in places where the streets are narrow and the Aptera in its current iteration is a bit wide for those purposes. If you could look at this car, you can see that the ground clearance is quite low and it has three wheels. I think it's a great looking car. I personally like it. It's really cute. Kind of looks like a 1950s Alfa Romeo. All right, this video that loops is quite interesting because people worry about how the Aptera handles in snow with the third wheel kind of going through the snow drifts. Well, here's a three-wheeled vehicle going just through the snow. It has a lower ground clearance than the Aptera by far and still seems to have no problem just plowing through the snow. So I suspect that it won't be an issue, that Aptera will have no problem handling snow based on how this three-wheeler is handling the snow. So as they said, they are creating a light vehicle. If you look at their specs, it's 160-mile range, 90-mile-per-hour top speed. So, Aptera, the lowest range Aptera is 250 miles. And then Aptera is 110 miles per hour, but 90 miles per hour is plenty. It's definitely a highway capable car, this Nobe. 190 kilowatts of peak power. Aptera has 150 kilowatts for the all-wheel drive variant because each hub motor is about 50 kilowatts. So this 190 kilowatt power for this vehicle is a little crazy. That's a lot of power, especially look at the weight. It's 1650, so this is about the same weight as you would get in the 25 kilowatt battery pack Aptera. And I think the 40 kilowatt won't be too far off from this either. This is probably a little bit heavier than 25 kilowatt and a little bit lighter than the 40 kilowatt Aptera. Here's a little bit of their history. I guess their CEO really loved his VW Bug, but you had to drive it every day or the spark plugs would foul. So he wanted to make kind of an electric VW Bug. So then this was the design, and they made a prototype in 2019. And they've made two prototypes. There's like a blue one and a red one. So they made a total of two prototypes in this whole time, and they have supposedly teamed up with FAR Engineering in the UK to produce this vehicle. And so we'll see if they actually make it to production. Here's some more specs on it. You can see that it's a 25 kilowatt battery with 160-mile range. That works out to be about 160 watt hours per mile. So the Aptera is about 60% more efficient than this car. Otherwise, fairly standard. And then if you want to pre-order this thing, here's the price. It's $40,000. It's very pricey. $40,000, that's about $15,000 more expensive than the equivalent Aptera. So quite a bit more expensive. So it's definitely not an economical car, especially for what you're getting. So it's for someone who is willing to spend that much for the styling. Like I said, personally, I think it's a very nice looking car. Looks great. Monroe and Associates is associated with them, and they announced in September of 2020 that they are helping them. And if you watch the Sandy Monroe video, he's quite impressed with it. He likes the design as well. It's really funny because they say that it's a three-wheel drive vehicle, And they make it sound in this video like it has hub motors, but if you look at the wheels, they don't look like hub motors. I don't see how they would fit a hub motor in there. When they pan around, you'll see that the see this wheel has an indented area. There's no way you're fitting a hub motor in that. So I don't think it's a hub motor, but somehow they have a three-wheel drive design. Yeah, you can see here. There's no hub motor in this thing. And the interior as well is that retro design. It's very simplistic. Doesn't have a touch screen, just has dials. It's very, yeah, it's very retro and classic looking. And the boat tail back, I think, looks great. It's because it's so small, it is very efficient. It's about twice as efficient as a Tesla Model S. And for a small urban car, it's like the perfect size. Anyways, Um, the problem with this vehicle, I think, is there's very few specs on this, so I don't know how far along they are in the engineering of this thing. Essentially, this company has made two alpha vehicles. They haven't even made it to beta. I think they're still doing the engineering on the thing. Uh, I feel like they're very far out from manufacturing this thing, and a lot of their lead guys, like the guy who was leading Nobe USA, he left the company saying that he thought it was non-viable essentially, and that he felt like the founder was not completely honest. So a lot of their top guys have left the company, which I think doesn't speak well of how it's being run. But the car itself, I think, is awesome. If this car was cheaper, like 20,000, I would personally be interested in it. But at 40,000, I think it's a bit pricey. As you can see, the inside is very retro. I kind of like the look of it actually. The seats are really close together. There's no separation, so you have to really like the person that you're you're driving this car with, because you will be shoulder to shoulder with them. Um, yeah, there's basically no space between the two. And in one of their variants, one of their prototypes, there is a third seat in the back. It's a really tight fit, but they do fit a third seat in the back. And remember, there was uh, Chris said that there is a possibility of a third seat in Aptera, which I think would be amazing. This is the guy who was in charge of Nobe USA, and he was in this video. He has since left the company, and and again, I think that's what doesn't bode well for them. But again, like I said, the vehicle itself is beautiful, and this is the one with the third seat in the back. And I really like how they want a small, lightweight, efficient car. I'm totally for that, and I think most Aptera people are for that. It's definitely a narrower car. It fits much better in an urban environment, so it's something to consider. Personally, I wouldn't invest in it because I think that the company is having some issues, and I don't know how viable they are. But I wish them success. I hope they are able to deliver this to the market, and I hope that people will buy it and that they're a successful company, because I think the car, one, looks great, and I think we need more small, lightweight vehicles. We need less Hummer EVs that weigh 10,000 pounds, and we need more of these small, lightweight cars that reduce the amount of excess weight we have to move around. I mean, we're essentially moving a 200-pound person around. Why do we need a 10,000-pound vehicle to move a 200-pound person around? Like something like this or the Aptera is much better for doing that kind of stuff. All right, well, tell me what you guys think about the Nobe. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Would you consider buying it? Is it just too expensive? Um, or would you much rather get the Aptera? I mean, personally, of course, we're on the Aptera channel, so we're big fans of the Aptera. The Aptera is a much bigger car, which it makes it hard to drive in an urban environment, but you can fit a lot more stuff in there. It's more efficient, it's cheaper, and it's lighter in its 25 kilowatt variant. So a lot of advantages. Okay, I'd like to thank our supporting members, which are Enoch, Brian, Jaron, John, Go Climb a Rock, Hans, and Abby, and then our 40 kilowatt hour members, Curtis, Jeremy, Tom, Dean, Adimchi, Dino Buddy, Neil, Uncle George, Don, Paul, Harry, Paulry, and our 25 kilowatt numbers. And I'd like to thank all you guys who are watching and supporting the channel. Love reading your discussions and comments, and I try to reply to them if I have anything to add. But this has been a real fun adventure making this channel and meeting a lot of you guys. Join our Discord channel. We're almost up to 500 members. I think we might be hitting it very soon if we haven't already. Okay, well, thanks for watching and have a great day, everyone.